After missing virtually all of training camp and the preseason and having to go up against some of the league's top receivers on a weekly basis, nobody on this Bucs defense has been challenged more this year than cornerback Alterraun Verner. He's had to face A.J. Green, Calvin Johnson, and Julio Jones twice this year. And this week, he's got another challenge in Jordy Nelson. But now that he's got his legs under him and he's a lot more comfortable in this Bucs defense, he says it's one he's ready for. You do seem to be a lot more comfortable and a lot more familiar in this system. You're really starting to fly around to the ball. I mean, we've seen it the last several weeks, and I don't know if a lot of that's just you getting your legs under you with the hamstring that's fully healed now, but do you just feel a lot more comfortable now in this system?
Yeah, and I've been trying to figure it out too, that it just seems like my movement just been a lot better and just knowing where I'm supposed to go and things like that. And I think it contributes to me not being in preseason and stuff like that, even though I didn't think it would happen, but I never had to deal with it. But just seeing, yeah, it did take a little bit more time. And just, I just think just being in the system and just knowing the ins and outs, because it is a little different. But I definitely seen some improvement on my end, and you see it from a lot of guys too.
And also, too, even just the fact that I know you've had a lot of guys coming in and out, safety being rotated in and out, but it seems to me like the secondary as a whole is also really starting to gel, too.
I think so, and I think it's just knowing our job and our assignments where it might be different for a lot of different guys. I mean, Deshaun, even though he was here last year, was with the 49ers, so he had two different systems. He was under me being Tennessee last year. So, I mean, I think all of us just adjusting to this system because it's really different from a lot of other systems. And so I think that's why we're starting to gel and starting to learn each other, because, like me, I'm new to Jonathan, Deshaun, and all them. They at least had a year to play with each other. So I think that in itself was helping us out too, because now I kind of know what they expect from me, and I kind of know where they're going to be and things like that, because it's different between X's and O's and actually having that person actually respond in that situation.
And how much do you think you've grown under Coach Bird?
I think a lot. He challenges you. He doesn't let you just be mediocre. He challenges you to be great, and you can tell by his enthusiasm, his passion, and he challenges me, and I think that's the big thing. He doesn't let me just settle for anything, even if I think that I had a real good game or a good series. I'm not saying that he's being a Debbie Downer and like trying to rain on our parade, but he's letting us know that you can always work on something, you can always get better, and that's why he was so successful as a player. So that's where I felt like I've grown with him, and I'm going to continue to grow as long as he's coaching me.
Seems like every week you've got a big challenge ahead of you with one of these big receivers. It doesn't ever get any easier, and this week it's going to be Jordy Nelson, one of the most productive, if not the most productive offenses in the league. What are you seeing out of him on tape?
That he just does it all. Him and Aaron Rodgers are just on par with each other. It seems like they just connect from anywhere. If he gets in trouble, and then you throw Randall Cobb in there too, it's going to definitely be another challenge. Like you said, week in and week out, it seems like we always got somebody. But I love it. You got to relish these challenges because you know they're going to throw the ball. Playing against one of the elite quarterbacks and one of the elite receivers, you know they're going to throw the ball, and you know they're going to be confident. They're not going to shy away from anybody. They think they're better than everybody else. So that just gives you more opportunities to make plays on the ball. So I relish the opportunity in the fact that we're going against them, and then going against them at a time where we're starting to gel and build a little something. So it's going to be an exciting challenge from the defense.
And this past week, it's not often that you see this Packers team show a vulnerable side, but they did show that against Buffalo, and they got stunned on the road by the Bills. What were you seeing? What were the Bills doing right that enabled them to win that game? Aside from that, having that big play on special teams by your former teammate.
Yeah, Marcus, I think they just play with a lot of confidence. You saw that they weren't intimidated by the Packers, and they made plays when it was there. They had some big interceptions. I mean, I think before that game, Aaron only threw maybe 3 or 4 interceptions. He threw 2 in that one game. So they took advantage of their opportunities when they needed them, and they kept points off the board, and they just was aggressive. They were challenging every throw. It wasn't easy throws being completed. If it was, somebody was right there, and they did just a good job just competing all the way from the front 7 to the back end, and it was an impressive performance by them.